Hi people, it's me Anja, my pronouns all she and her, and welcome back to my channel for part 26 of my favorite Sapphic books with Sapphic main characters. For those who are new here, Sapphic is an umbrella term for women-loving women, which includes non-binary people. So without any further ado, I hope that this video helps diversify your bookshelf. Please remember to support queer authors all year round. So with that said, the first book on this list is called Learning to Fall. This story is a YA contemporary following a young Sapphic main character who is discovering roller derby, a queer awakening, and a newfound family. I love stories that focus on a queer awakening because I think it's so important for young people to discover new things about themselves and to know that you can discover new things about yourself at literally any age. Because the idea that you know absolutely everything at any age is just so silly to me. And maybe it's because I'm autistic, so I think very literally sometimes. But anyway, the point is this book was so good and it was so awesome. And it's also set in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. So I loved those British elements. And I also loved like the sports and the friendship and the Sapphic romance and everything. Like, this book was so good and it's so underrated. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Come Home to My Heart. This story is a YA contemporary following two Sapphic main characters who start an accidental friendship that transforms into something more as their hidden truths come to the light. I don't really know if that really made any sense or if it sounded super vague. But anyway, this book was so good, and it was one of my 5-star favorites from this year because I absolutely loved it. I was so emotionally connected to the characters as well as to the events. The romance itself was so beautiful and so well done. Like, I love the plot and the characters and everything about it. This book is, again, so underrated, and I think it deserves so much more hype because I think it's so excellent and so lyrical and so poetic. I love the writing and the plot and the pacing and the characters and the romance, and like everything about it was so good. This book truly reminded me of like Gay the Away, which I read last year. I thought that book was also so beautiful. This book is also like so emotional, which is part of the reason as to why I rated it 5 stars. I know I've never really like dived into this specific criteria as to what constitutes as a 5-star or not, but every single one of my 5-star reads has made me cry, and this book I think made me cry more than once. But anyway, all that to say, this book was amazing. So with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called All Nighter. This story is a YA contemporary following two Sapphic arch-nemesis who team up for a whirlwind night, and it's marketed, I believe, as Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, since it's set over such a short amount of time, meets Booksmart. I think that element is because they're academically driven. This book was so good. I read it the first week of June, and I thought it was so well done. I remember having really low expectations going into it because typically I don't really enjoy academic rivals to lovers, or frankly rivals to lovers in general, but historically that trope is often done better in queer settings than straight settings, although frankly everything is done better in a queer setting over a straight setting, if I'm being completely honest. But anyway, this book was so good. I loved the characters and the romance and the plot and everything about it. Like, the chemistry was so cute and so well established. This book is absolutely so good. I also loved the Jewish representation as well as the disability ADHD representation. Like, this book is so awesome, and frankly I just really enjoyed it. So with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Nobody in Particular. This story is a YA contemporary following a disgraced princess who falls for a new student at an all-girls boarding school. I thought this book was excellent. Like, I remember absolutely falling in love with it and falling in love with the characters individually and understanding their dynamic like immediately. This book was so good. I had super low expectations for it, honestly, but I think this book literally blew me out of the water It's superb. I love the characters individually. I love the pacing and the plot and the romance. Like, I love a good forbidden romance. This book was absolutely so excellent, and it was so well done, and it deserves so much more hype. I think that this is Sophie's best book. I know that doesn't really say much coming from me, because I've always said that Sophie's books in the past have not been very good, so the bar was already extremely low for me personally. But frankly, I think this book deserves so much more hype, and it's so good. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Incorruptibles. This story is a middle-grade fantasy following a young queer main character who joins the human resistance against social tyranny, and frankly, I really enjoy this book. First of all, I loved the magic sci-fi system. I thought it was so well established and so awesome and absolutely so interesting and fascinating. I love the characters so much. I love like an academic setting. I love the found family that she formed with her new friends. Like, I'm so excited to read the sequel. I'm not exactly sure how many books the author has planned exactly, but I'm so excited to see what will happen next with the magic and the cliffhanger and the characters and everything. Like, this book was so good, and it's the first that I've ever read before by this author, so I had no idea what to expect, and I'm so glad that I just really enjoyed it. Like, the world building, the pacing, the plot, the characters, like, it's so good. Every single element was so well paced and so well done. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Tournament. This story is a YA contemporary thriller following 3 queer main characters with entangled pasts who compete against each other, as well as some other people, in their private school's annual tournament. This story is absolutely so fantastic, and it's so good. I loved the characters and the plot and the tournament and how entangled they became in each other. Like, this book is excellent. I had really high expectations because I've always trusted Rebecca with their previous queer stories. Like, all the books before have been so good, and this book particularly was absolutely excellent. Like, I love the tournament, I love the setting, I love the queerness, I love all the characters individually. They each made so much sense. I just really enjoyed this book from the beginning to the end, and I think it deserves so much more hype because it was so good and just so thrilling and just so fantastic. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The penultimate book on this list is called After We Bond. This story is a YA contemporary thriller following 5 main characters as they each hold a piece of the truth as to what happened when a fire consumed the local high school, taking the life of one of the perspectives. This story is absolutely so fantastic, and it's so good. I love the mystery and the pacing and the plot and everything. 2 of the main characters are Sapphic, by the way, in case you were wondering. This book was excellent. I love the characters individually. I love the mystery and how the multiple perspectives and flashbacks were used in the telling of the story. Everything about this book was so fantastic and just so good. Like, it was just so excellent. And there is a trigger warning on the story that I should have mentioned at the very beginning of this review for sexual assault. So please be wary of that if you are a survivor of sexual assault. But just in general, this book was so good. And I also apologize if my review is redundant, because I know I just talked about this book in my last video, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, overall, this book was absolutely so awesome and so fantastic and so well paced. So with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least, is called Call Your Boyfriend. This story is a YA contemporary following 2 queer main characters who are both teaming up because they both want revenge on the popular girl that they're both crushing on. I feel like I said both like way too many times. Anyway, this book is absolutely so excellent, and I really enjoyed it. And I believe this book is marketed as Bottoms meets She Gets the Girl, and Bottoms is truly one of my favorite queer movies ever. I think it's so, like, effortlessly funny and just so good, and every single time I watch it, I think it's so goofy and so good, but also, like, so emotionally driven, and I found myself becoming very emotionally attached to the characters. But anyway, I digress. This book was so good, and I loved the friendship and the romantic dynamic, and everything about it was so sweet and so wholesome. The characters individually are both so well developed and so awesome, and their romance made so much sense, and I loved their chemistry, and it was so cute and so sweet and just so awesome. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. So in conclusion, first of all, I don't remember if I've mentioned this anywhere in this video at all, but it is also close to midnight right now, as it was similarly in my last video, so I apologize if my sentences weren't the most cohesive. I need to stop filming at night. But anyway, second of all, as I mentioned in my last video, today is like July 17th or 16th or something like that, and I leave for my vacation in less than a week, but by the time that you're watching this, I think I've already come home, if I'm, like, remembering that correctly. But anyway, I also feel as if in all of my book recommendation videos, since some of these books I talked about so recently in my recent reads videos, that my reviews can come across as generic or redundant, so please let me know if that is the case. But anyway, in conclusion, I hope this video helps diversify your bookshelf. So in conclusion, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the dinosaur emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!